Welcome back to All This Math. This is Professor Parker, and today we're going to solve an equation that looks like this. We have a proportional equation. That's what this is called, a proportional equation, because a proportion is when you have two ratios that are equal to each other. Two ratios that are equal to each other. Now, a ratio is just a fraction. So this is a ratio, and this is a ratio. Negative 16 over x minus 7 is a ratio. Negative 4 over x minus 4, that's also a ratio. When the ratios are equal to each other, the entire formation is called a proportion. Now, how do you solve proportional equations? One way to do it is what I call using the Malcolm X method, right? Because you do multiplication in the form of an x, all right? So I call it the Malcolm X method. Some textbooks will call it the cross product property, or using the cross product property, all right? So what it kind of looks like is this. You're going to go on a diagonal, go there, and you go there, right? So that's what we're going to do. So, and each of the products of each diagonal is going to go on one side of the equal sign. This is how we eliminate the fractions. So we eliminate the fractions because that makes the problem simpler. So the first step, Malcolm X method, right? Go diagonal. All right, we want to eliminate the fractions. So I got negative 16 times the quantity of x minus 4 is equal to negative 4 times the quantity of x minus 7. So you see what just happened? This times this is that right there. And then this times this is that over here. Right? So now, I want to get rid of the parentheses. I want to get rid of the parentheses now. Okay? So, I'm going to use the distributive property to get rid of the parentheses. So I'm going to have negative 16x plus 64 is equal to negative 4x plus 28. Negative 16 times x is this. Negative 16 times negative 4 is this. Negative 4 times x is this. Negative 4 times negative 7 is this. So now the parentheses are gone. So now what I have is I have x's in too many places. X's in too many places, all right? So one of the ways to kind of combine the x's, even though they're on opposite sides of the equation, right side, left side, is I can get rid of this negative 4x by doing the opposite operation. So plus 4x on the right side, plus 4x on the left side. Notice I can't add it to 64 because they're not like terms, but I can add it to negative 16x because they are like terms. All right, these cancel out. This gives me negative 12x plus 64 is equal to 28. Now, my goal is to get x by itself. I want x by itself, so I have to get rid of 64, negative 12. 64, negative 12. 64, and negative 12. I got to get rid of both of them. So I'm going to get rid of 64. I'm going to do minus 64 because that's the opposite of adding 64. But I got to stay balanced, so I do it on both sides of the equation. Both sides of the equation. They cancel out. Negative 12x is equal to 28 minus 64. I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to do 64 minus 28 and make my answer negative. So I'm going to do 64 take away 28. 64 take away 20 is 44. 44 take away 8 is 36. So this is negative 36. Remember I said I got to make my answer negative because I really started positive 28 and I'm going 64 spaces to the left, right? But that's a math trick. I can flip it around, but then make sure you make your answer a negative, all right? Yeah. So now negative 12x equals negative 36. How do I get rid of negative 12? How do I get rid of negative 12? I do the opposite operation. What's the opposite of multiplying? Because that means negative 12 times x. The opposite is division. So I divide by negative 12 on the left, divide by negative 12 on the right. So I'm going to swing up here, and I'm going to have x is equal to 3. All right, so that's my answer. X is equal to 3. I believe that this gives me a true statement. So let's see if it does. Let's see if it does. If I replace the x's here and here, here and here, here and here with 3's, 3 minus 7 is negative 4. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. Negative 16 divided by negative 4 is positive 4. Negative 4 divided by negative 1 is also positive 4. And that is a true statement because 4 is equal to 4. All right, so this is a good answer. All right, but notice what we did. We started out with a proportional equation. A proportional equation, meaning we got a fraction equal to a fraction equal to a fraction. We want to eliminate the fraction. I use what I call the Malcolm X method because we go in an X formation. We go in an X formation. right? And then we get this. This product is equal to that product. We eliminate the parentheses. We eliminate the parentheses. So we do the distributive property. We get this. And then we want to just, well, we got x's in more than one place. So we want to have x just in one place. We got to have x just in one place. I could have added 16x on both sides. I decided to add 4x on both sides. It doesn't matter as long as we get the x's in one place, right? One place, one term, right? So I basically combined the x's by doing this. Plus 4x, plus 4x. And then I got to get rid of 64 and get rid of negative 12 to get x by itself. And I get x is equal to 3 when x is by itself. And then I go back and check my work to make sure. Checking your work is a very good idea. I recommend it to everybody. All right. So that's how you solve a proportional equation. Make sure you practice with problems like this. Practice with problems like this. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.